Have you ever woken up some mornings ready to grab breakfast from the pantry and immediately missed those colorful and cheerful cereal boxes from your childhood that made every morning worth waking up to? Like Cap'n Choco Donuts, Kaboom, Mr. T, King Vitaman, and Quisp? Imagine what it felt like watching your favorite Saturday morning cartoon alongside a cereal bowl of the same show. Totally amazing. Sadly, these classics have disappeared from our grocery store shelves, but their taste and charm still linger in our nostalgic hearts. So today, we're taking a trip down memory lane to explore some famous cereals from the past that we all secretly wish would make a comeback. Number 1. Alphabets. If there ever was a cereal that turned the mundane task of learning the alphabet into a breakfast adventure, it was Alphabets. Introduced in 1957 by the cereal wizards at Post Consumer Brands, the concept was simple but genius. Each box contained tiny letter-shaped cereal pieces with the entire alphabet, and parents couldn't be happier. They could practically see their kids' brains growing with every spoonful. Learning the alphabet? Check. Having a tasty breakfast? Double check. Soon it became just as famous as any A-list pop star, even starring in movies and TV shows like The Andy Griffith Show, Family Guy, The Simpsons, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Pretty Little Liars, and the 2003 movie Anger Management. Fast forward to 2006, and suddenly, it vanished like a magician's disappearing act. But it made a surprising comeback in January 2008. Claiming to be limited edition with a new formula and proudly boasting 0% sugar. The old school recipe also made a comeback later that same year, giving us a double dose of nostalgia. Unfortunately, as they say, good things come to an end. Alphabets got discontinued again in May 2021. But we'll always remember it for its popular tagline. They're ABC delicious. Number 2. Sprinkle Spangles. Who would ever forget the commercials on our TVs singing, "Sprinkle Sprangles taste so sweet, taste so crunchy, 'cause we spangle every angle with sprinkles." And the cheerful purple sprinkle genie that pops up in front of children who wish they could have the cereal for breakfast, with the catchphrase, "You wish, I dish it."
You wish it, I dish it, my new Sprinkle Spangles.
Now, imagine diving into that bowl of crispy, star-shaped cereal generously coated in a sugary glaze and adorned with vibrant sprinkles. Yeah, brings back the good old memories. Introduced in 1993 by General Mills, this cereal was in for all the sprinkles and sweetened corn puffs. The kids loved it. Crunchy, creamy, and of course, with many sprinkles. But despite how hard they tried to sell it using the genie mascot, inspired by the Aladdin movie which came out a year earlier, they eventually lost their charm and vanished from the cereal aisle only 5 years later in 1998. Number 3. Cap'n Choco Donuts. The full name of this cereal was Cap'n Crunch's Oops Choco Donuts. I don't really know why Quaker thought adding the oops to its name would make any difference. It was introduced in the breakfast aisle in the early 80s and was described as chocolate donuts made out of cocoa, corn flour, whole wheat flour, and sugar. Yeah, lots of it. And that made kids and even adults who loved to indulge marvel at its sweet triple chocolate flavor and sprinkles goodness. Talk about a cereal that hits the taste buds just right. But just as we were loving the cereal too much, they eventually bid their goodbyes in the early 2000s. Number 4. Pac-Man cereal. Ah, the 80s, when video games were conquering arcades and Pac-Man was the undisputed king of the pixelated realm. But the excitement didn't stop at just the arcade cabinet. It spilt over into our breakfast bowls with the arrival of Pac-Man cereal. Recall the vibrant yellow box adorned with the iconic Pac-Man, the maze, and those pesky ghosts? Pinky, Blinky, Inky, and Clyde. And the cereal, much like the game, featured Pac-Man-shaped pieces capturing the essence of the classic character. And kids who loved this cereal would testify that it was like an extra sugary version of Kix cereal with marshmallows. Oh, what a time that was in the era of Pac-Man cereal. But as the years passed, the fervor for Pac-Man began to wane. Still, General Mills tried hard to keep the cereal intact by including catchy and appealing giveaways and raffles for all sorts of merchandise, which included hats, watches, cameras, and even a chance to win a full-sized Pac-Man arcade cabinet. But eventually its presence on store shelves faded away in 1988. Some said it didn't live long on the shelves because of its similarities to Lucky Charms, also produced by General Mills. Well, at least we still get to remember our favorite cereal when playing the game. Number 5. Kaboom. With a name like that, you know breakfast is about to get explosive with just the right flavors. Kaboom was produced by General Mills in 1969 and was known for two things: vitamin fortified and circus themed. The star of the show was undoubtedly the smiling clown faces and marshmallow bears, lions, elephants, and stars that added a playful twist to the mix. Of course, you'd also remember the ever-smiling circus clown. Now, there's no denying that Kaboom was the cereal of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even rocked the shelves in the early 2000s until its shine eventually died down in 2010. But before it vanished, Kaboom made a name for itself, appearing in blockbusters like The Game of Thrones, Indestructible Man, Kill Bill, and even Don DeLillo's book White Noise. Now that's how to truly leave with an impact. Number 6, Quisp. If breakfast cereals could equip us with the superpower to fly, it definitely would be the sugar-sweetened Quisp. This actual cereal character is known for his antenna that also doubled as a propeller, allowing it to fly. This Sugar Rush cereal was introduced in 1965 by the Quaker Oats Company and immediately made its name as people's favorite. Quisp continued to dominate the cereal aisle and sell out just as fast, especially because it was a limited edition product, so collectors made sure to collect as many as they needed. Unfortunately, in 1979, Quisp came face-to-face with a hard rock, which ended its production. But Quaker obviously wasn't done yet with this product, so it was reintroduced in 1985 and discontinued in the 90s. Looks like they were having a hard time deciding if Quisp deserved to stay or not. Well, eventually, Quisp made a comeback in 2001, and this time, it wasn't the regular cereal you'd find in the stores. It was solely purchased online, earning it the title of the first internet cereal. To date, you can find Quisp in selected grocery stores. You can buy online or use Quaker's product locator to find out if Quisp is sold in a store near you. Number 7, Nickelodeon Slime Cereal. Usually, slime and cereal are not words you'd expect to see in the same sentence, not to talk of a cereal box. But I guess General Mills understood it would be a great marketing strategy when he launched it in 2003. Well, the entire truth is that Nickelodeon Slime wasn't a genius marketing tactic from General Mills, but was specifically created when they partnered with Nickelodeon for the 2003 Kids' Choice Awards. And in bringing the vision of slime to life, General Mills kept it simple and familiar, with green slime-shaped corn puffs and marshmallows shaped vaguely like the Nickelodeon logo. I wouldn't know how to really rate that one. However, finding it anywhere on the cereal aisle would be almost impossible. Number 8, Crazy Cow. Remember the 70s? If yes, you would also recall that the Crazy Cow cereal was a rage back then. And just like its name, kids and even adults went crazy about it. Could that explain why it was called Crazy Cow? Like those going crazy for it are cows? Well, maybe the secret was in the powder-like flavors that coated the round multigrain cereal. The magic happens when milk is added, and the powdered coating dissolves into the milk, resulting in delicious flavored milk. The cereal box also came in 2 flavors, chocolate and strawberry. So if you have the chocolate box, it'd turn your milk brown, while the strawberry flavor will turn your milk pink. And this made the kids crave breakfast every morning. At least that's if you're having cereals every day for breakfast. But despite its tasty and finger-licking flavors, it didn't last long enough and was eventually discontinued in the 80s. Number 9, Hidden Treasures. Like its name, Hidden Treasures was the morning adventure we never knew we needed before beginning the day. Introduced in 1984 alongside Sprinkle Spangles, Hidden Treasures was all about finding treasures in every crunch of sweetened corn squares. Its icing-filling flavors were usually cherry, orange, and grape. So, to find the treasures, you'd have to bite into each of the squares and find out what you got, making it even more fun. Some squares had no icing fillings, making the treasure hunt more dynamic. But there was always a trick. The squares with the seams very close to the edge had the grape fillings, those with off-center seams had the orange fillings, and those with the direct center seams had the cherry fillings. But again, like most good things, Hidden Treasures lost its adventure appeal and was left behind in memory lane in 1993. Number 10, Mr. T cereal. If you love cornflakes, then there is even a bigger chance that you loved the even crispier, sweet and oat cereal that was Mr. T. It was produced in 1984 by the Quaker Oats Company, made with simple ingredients like corn and oats, and of course, also fortified with iron and B vitamins. This was intended to make you as powerful as Mr. T, although that was not exactly how it worked. And just like its name, the cereals were shaped with the letter T, which most people described to have a similar flavor to Captain Crunch. Well, it was mostly marketed towards children, so they didn't care as long as it was crunchy and just as sweet. And as long as they eat it while watching Mr. T say the catchphrase, "Team up with Mr. T, it's cool," and "I pity the fool who doesn't eat my cereal."
Teaming up with Mr. T. It's cool.
However, it only managed to remain relevant for just 9 years and was eventually discontinued in 1993. But of course, it made a few appearances in movies like Pee-wee's Big Adventures and the television show Rules of Engagement. Seems like Mr. T didn't do well to convince people to keep the orders coming in.